Hello, everyone. We are back with our Profiles and Strengths series. Fallon, Watts, and I had done this series in the spring. We had a great time talking to phenomenal women leaders about how they lean into their Clifton strengths and make an impact in their communities. And we're excited to bring back some phenomenal women this year. So today we are kicking it off. And Fallon, I'll let you introduce our awesome woman of strength today.
Yes, as Sandy said, we are back for round two here. And so we appreciate everyone liking us, tagging us to really highlight the women that we are profiling and that are leaning into their strengths. So the first one we have this go around is Miss Keahna Williams. Keahna is a healthcare staffing leader and chief operating officer. She has over a decade of experience working with managed services providers in the Joint Commission, where she really excels at solving credential challenges for healthcare providers. However, Keahna is very, very passionate about empowering women leaders. She is dedicated to helping others succeed in and inside of the healthcare industry. So welcome, Keahna, and thank you for all that you're doing for our women leaders. Keahna's top 5 strengths are achiever, responsibility, learner, belief, and consistency. So thank you for joining us, Keahna.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course.
And Keahna, this is the first time you've taken strengths before, correct?
The Clifton strengths, yes.
Yeah.
This is the
What
first
did
time.
you think of your results?
It's funny you ask that question because sometimes the results seem to be the same across the board with just different titles, if you will. I've done a few of these in the past, so this is a newer one, but everything seems to kind of fall in line all the time a little bit. But mine seems to be pretty consistent each time I take these, and it's so many years that I've done them, in between. So it's interesting to see that they stay the same.
And I always am so fascinated when I see the combination because with Clifton Strengths, there's 34. And the top 5, we see all kinds of combinations in the top 5, but belief, consistency, and responsibility, you've got to be that friend, that boss that everybody wants to lean on because you're going to have their back. I mean, do you feel that combination, that powerful combination in your role as COO and all your strengths, how do you leverage those as COO?
Yeah, that's a great question. I guess I don't pay attention to my strengths until I take these assessments.
Okay.
I think I hear that I'm viewed that way amongst my peers and my team members, if you will. It's hard for me to speak about them that way because I see them as the same, like we're on the same level. And so I do think in some ways that they do see me as that friend and that support system versus an actual leader, if you will. I never went into this role thinking of being a leader as much as I thought of being a helper or a servant to them. So yeah, I think sometimes they think that, and that's what I hear, but that's not why I do the things that I do.
I hear a lot of servant leadership in what you're saying. Do you feel like your style as COO follows a servant leadership style?
I would say yes. And again, it's hard for me to talk about that about myself. When it's all said and done, I like to make sure that my team and the people I work with are able to handle their jobs efficiently and effectively, that they're comfortable throughout the day. If that means that I've got to stay later to make sure that they're good and can get to where they need to be, then that's what I'll do.
No, I love that. And I think Keahna's been a bit modest about how powerful she is and how she really does uplift and empower women. But I'll go back to that. But fun fact is that Keahna and I have 3 of the same top 5 strengths. So responsibility, belief, and consistency. So to hear you talk about how you like your people, your staff, it's good that they don't see you as a leader, but you are truly a leader because it's the style of leadership that you are. You are a friend. You are someone that can that they can easily come to and speak to about their needs and their desires. And so I've known Keahna for several years now, and in the time that we've known each other, she has always been that individual where it's like, whatever you need, she will step in and help you get it, whether it's helping you build your small business, whether it's helping you connect with other women leaders. She is that person in the community that she's not she's been very modest and humble about who she is and how she really helps other women in the Omaha community. So I know personally she's helped me tremendously with my small business, making connections for me and just doing whatever she can do to help me excel. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Fallon.
Yes,
Does
yes.
it surprise either one of you? You're not complete twins. You're 3 out of 5. Did it surprise either one of you? Or are you hearing it now, Keahna, that you have 3 out of 5 that are the same?
As soon as I took it, Fallon did let me know that we have 3 that are the same. I thought it was interesting, but one of the comments I made was no wonder why we get along so well. So
Yeah.
I think that stands true for both of us for sure.
For sure.
Now,
All
Keahna,
right.
can you talk a little bit about challenges that you faced as a leader and how any of these strengths might have helped you overcome them? I mean, anything
Yeah.
you can help our listeners hear about how you can lean into your strengths with the challenges.
Sure. A less known fact that people, don't know about me, I guess you could say, is I did not get a college degree. And I didn't strive to be a COO. It just kind of happened through a lot of perseverance. There's a lot to be said, I think, about being an achiever and taking responsibility,
Right.
being consistent, treating others with respect goes a long way. And I think that's, while I stood my ground a lot of the way through the process and being in healthcare staffing, it also helped solidify a lot of great relationships with individuals. They saw my ability to move forward regardless of who it is that I'm speaking with, in order to make sure that the right things are being done and that they're done on time and that it's consistent. It doesn't matter who it is or who's pushing, because it's sales. There's a lot of sales involved. And sometimes with sales, it's just to get to the bottom line. But there's a lot of detail that goes into it, everything else in between. And you want to make everybody happy, but sometimes you have to pump the brakes a little bit. And I was always that person regardless. And it just kind of drove me up the chain, if you will. And just little by little, I made it to where I am today. People saw my ability, and my partners that I have today they reached out to me because they saw my ability to persevere and get the job done, which is, I feel like, most important.
Love story of resilience. I love it.
Yes. I'm telling you, she's awesome. She's awesome. So.
You had shared with us that you shared them with your family. What was the feedback they gave you on your strengths?
Yeah, I think my family is proud of me and the things that I've accomplished. But some of the things that they mentioned is, as far as being an achiever, is how much I work, and that I will work into all hours of the night to make sure that everything is complete, with the utmost detail and all of that.
So with that, Keahna, I would say, make sure you're practicing self-care. How do you then practice that self-care when you do have such a high level of achiever and responsibility and consistency in your role?
It's a great question, Fallon. I probably don't think about that as much as I should. I do try to get to the gym often, and I do like to go get my nails done. Who doesn't, right?
Yeah.
But there's definitely a lot more that you should do on a personal level, when, especially as a leader and caring for other people around you. They need to see that you're doing that for yourself, so they feel like they can do the same.
That's a great
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, I think sometimes as women we take that for granted, right? Where it's like we take our self-care for granted, but because we want to make sure other folks are okay. But I'm a high advocate, a person to say, you know what, self-care is needed. If you're not okay, the folks around you are not okay. And sometimes people need to see you doing that, modeling that. So then it kind of gives them permission to be like, you know what, I am going to take a day off and it's okay. I'm going to go get my nails done. I'm going to go get a massage. It's all good. So
I need
thank
to channel my inner Fallon more.
Oh, no. Yeah. All righty, Keahna. Well, we are wrapping up our short little segment here with our women's in profiles and strengths. But before we let you go, we just want to know who are the women leaders that have influenced you, and what makes them inspirational to you?
This is a harder question to answer. It's something that I've been thinking about. Um, it seems normal to answer someone that's super famous, and so in those terms and thinking that in that way, it would be Michelle Obama for me. She's very influential. She's got a lot of poise. She's very articulate. She'll address any and every issue, regardless of what others may think. And she stands true to what she believes and tries her best to educate along the way. Um, but the most influential individuals to me are the women that I get to work with every day. When I was in healthcare staffing and actually working in the staffing part of it, and even now as a consultant, those are the women that drive me to continue to try to be better every day, because those are the ones that are asking the questions and I'm working with every day. They push me to do more research. They push me to learn a little more about everything that I do, because none of us have it all put together every day. So that's kind of where it is for me, the ladies I work with every day.
That's awesome.
That is, I was going to say, it would take you to say that, right? Like the women that you're actually working with on the day to day, who's in the grind with you, that really inspire you. So, yeah, kudos to you and your team. Kudos to your team for having you a part of their team.
Thank you.
Yes.
And I love hearing all the strengths as you talk, it's hearing the responsibility and the consistency and a high, belief in yourself, but belief in the people around you as equal as you.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Well,
ladies.
we thank you so much for your time, Keahna. We thank everyone for joining us and listening in. Please, again, like, share that profiles and strength. Sandy and I are back with uplifting and in just being intentional about bringing folks to the table that really inspire other women leaders. So thank you guys all.
Thank you for all you do, Keahna.
Thank you, ladies. I appreciate you.